bless you, and welcome to another segment of Holiness Tabernacles Women's Department Words to Live By. Now, I'm going to have some fun today because I get to talk to one of the brilliant young stars in our church, young college student. You see her there in her dorm, in the person of Sister Michaela Burrus. I've been looking forward to this interview for the last, since I had the list, because I knew Sister Burrus before she knew herself. Yeah. She was born in our church. Her mother and father, just great assets to the church, to the body of Christ, period. And I knew Michaela before she knew herself. Before she knew her name, I knew her. I think, didn't I christen you?
Yes, sir.
I christened you. Yeah. Yeah, show you how old I am. But anyway, Sister Michaela, okay, now let me see if I can think of what she does in our church. She serves in our young adult ministry. Let me see. Do you sing with the women's choir?
I do not. I didn't get a chance to do that.
How you get away from doing that? I know why. You were with the youth department.
Yes.
And then the pandemic hit, and you kept on getting older, and you kind of matriculated out from the children's church to the adults.
Yes,
right before my very eyes. She became an adult. And then she went off to college. And this really touched me. We had at our church a 3-week period of consecration. And her father told me that Sister Michaela was sharing with her college student or students there on the campus about the church's consecration schedule, fasting and praying. And I felt that was so impressive that a young woman away from home was still making an effort to stay in contact and follow the church as we dedicate ourselves to God. So welcome, Sister Burrus. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing peachy keen.
That's great.
Okay. So we're going to talk about, first of all, can you tell us what school you go to, and have you chosen a major field of study yet?
Yes, sir. I attend Virginia State University, and I major in elementary education, and I minor in social work.
Ooh, so one day you're going to be teaching somebody's bad little children.
I don't know about bad, but we definitely are praying for our young children and the kids.
They need much prayer. Okay, and so who is the character that you have chosen today that you kind of feel that you kind of identify with, or they kind of encourage you? Who's that person?
The character that I chose was Esther.
Okay, all right. So now you're a young woman, and Esther was a queen. So I guess one day you aspire to be the queen of America, the queen of the college campus, the queen of your house, or no, really. What things about Esther kind of drew you, or can you kind of identify with?
One thing that kind of drew me towards her was her bravery. She was strong and courageous. She had a desire to protect her family and her people. And I kind of relate to that because, I have, a strong connection to my family, and I would almost do, anything, for the people I love, like Esther did.
So I think she kind of risked her life when she went before the king uninvited. Right. Okay. So you can summon that kind of courage all by yourself, or do you need some help?
I definitely need some help, from my family and my church family. They're always supporting me and praying behind me, just how Esther's people were doing. They were praying and fasting behind her. And she realized, she couldn't do it by herself. So, sometimes I had to, get some words of encouragement and some prayer, to back me up, as I'm out here facing challenges and things of that such.
Okay. So even as a young woman, it sounds like I hear you saying that you can still see there are times when you can protect your parents, your siblings, your grandparents, if you will, people that are older than you.
Yes, sir.
But I guess, and maybe as an older person, I may have a hard time trying to equate or, even look that someone younger than me can be protecting me. But you see it differently. Okay.
Yes, sir.
How does that help perhaps impact your prayer life when you're praying?
Well, I really, when I'm praying, I try to, instead of like just praying for myself, I try to pray for, other people. I start by, thanking God for what I have, before I ask. And I always try to keep, my friends, that I've met here at school, because I've seen a lot of, we're all struggling, we have like similar, struggles and, things that are happening. So I try to keep them in prayer. My family, definitely my church family, anybody that I may, encounter that I feel, could, use some prayer. But I definitely, instead of, just focusing on myself, I'll, pray for other people, and I'll use my knowledge in the church and just things that I've learned over time. And I'll try to, like I just pray for other people. And okay, that's kind of what Esther was doing, just trying to, protect her people and things of that. So.
Okay. All right. Now, you mentioned that Esther showed courage, and I agree.
Yes.
I agree. All right. In your many years on this earth, we went to how old you are. Can you give, perhaps, without getting in any personal detail, a time when someone came at you, a life experience where you had to show courage?
That is a good question.
Maybe if it was taking a driving test, or maybe if it was applying to school, or maybe if it was taking a certain class that you thought might be real difficult, or going on a job interview. Give me one example when you had to show courage as a young woman.
A time where I had to show courage would be at my old job that I used to work at. I used to work in daycare, so I dealt with a lot of young children of like all ages, they were from infants to about 5th grade, so all ages. There was a time where one of the children was having a rough time at home, and he had been struggling and like going like in and out of different care, like with different people. And one day he was a little off that day, so I definitely had to I just sat him down and I talked, and we had a heart-to-heart conversation. And this child was about 8 to 9 years old, and I had to think about what I would do in that situation, and I had to be able to listen to him, because the other teachers were not listening. So I had to talk to him. I had to say, hey, what's wrong? And he would tell me, this teacher is yelling at me. This teacher is not listening to what I'm saying. So I had to take, that initiative to actually sit down and listen to him. And that is also why I decided to, stay in the profession, because that really touched my heart, to know that I have the ability to, affect somebody like this. And I really feel like that I don't want to say like changed his life, but I definitely like made an impact, by just listening and, just being there for like what he actually like needed,
Okay. Wow. Now see that I see another part of that courage because of your youth, and I'm sure the other teachers are older. You ran the risk of them perhaps saying you shouldn't have done that, but the need of the child was more important at that time than perhaps what people thought about you. That I think that shows tremendous courage. Tremendous courage. All right, now we're going to say that you're in charge of a youth group on campus, and you're going to invite Esther to come to Virginia State and talk to the young women on campus. How are you going to prepare Esther for your generation?
Well, the generation is very, very much different than Esther's generation. So there would be a lot to tell her.
A couple of things.
Well, one, I would definitely tell her the generation is definitely different. We have different things going on, and our challenges are a lot different, and the way we look or handle certain situations are different. So if she's coming to encourage our generation, I would say to remind everyone that despite the challenges that we're facing, because even though we are facing different challenges, we're still not facing things alone. We have each other, and we have support. And even though some people here, they may not have the same support systems, but we have each other, and we can all we can collectively give advice, and we can pray, and we can share words of encouragement with each other, so that we are not out here in college struggling and doing things alone. We have each other. So
look at you. Woo! Sound like an old woman talking. Well, I'm proud of you, daughter. I'm really proud of you. I see your growth. I see your maturity, and I see some of Esther's qualities. Now, don't tell your mom and your dad now. Don't tell them now. But I see some of her qualities in you. The courage to be different than other people, and to know that you're not in the battle alone. Well, we can talk some more. I love talking to you. I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work in school. Nail that 4.0. Make sure your dad spends some more money on you. Make sure he does it. Make sure he does it. And I'm going to bother you about your genes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Wave goodbye to the people. Now, this is probably going to be one of our most viewed segments, because you're gonna tell all your friends and neighbors, child, but you do. Love your daughter.
Thank you.
All right.